Good morning, B&B fans, as we're back again on Tuesday morning and a tournament recap, among other things. And once again, I am joined by internet and local Instagram model, Stu Williams.
What's going on, Christopher?
Not much. You're looking a little chipper. You're a little more pep in your step today. What's going on there?
Yeah, Saturday I didn't have much pep in my step. I struck really well, but I didn't really perform as a doubles partner very well because I couldn't translate my what I was seeing to my partner, unfortunately.
Yeah, you did bowl with Pete Thomas, and he is a little bit renowned for rolling his partners up a little bit, even when they bowl good sometimes.
Yeah, we couldn't for a little while we couldn't get on the same page, and it was the worst I'd actually seen Pete struggle. And
Yeah, that actually, he has actually been bowling very well lately, and it's pretty unusual. And there was some hook on the gutter again, which made it much more like what Jacob sees every week, ironically. But
yeah, it's certainly been the last few weeks on the PBA Regional Tour in the Southwest that if you haven't been throwing 8 strikes a game, you haven't been relevant. Just to give you a quick idea, I went something along the lines of 220, 190, 270, 250, 270, 250, 240, 250, 240, 240, something like that. And I was 70 pins behind AJ, who was bowling on the lane next to me.
AJ put on a run that he is really, really bowling good right now.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, 248 or whatever it was last week, almost 250. And then his low game on Saturday was 240, something 242 or 3, which is that's pretty crazy because, I mean, they weren't exactly the same going across the building there.
Yeah, I think that, like, for me personally, once I moved left and started playing the friction, I had them fairly similar. Like, I didn't really need to make much moves. And I think that AJ did that, but he was doing that with urethane for a while. And I was thinking, well, this transition is going to be a little challenging for him. And nope, changed into the code black, moved like 20 left and just.
Yeah, he kind of figured out that play last week. And that's where really knowing your equipment's the deal, because it's not really that's not a sensical move in general. R2S cover, something that's pretty quick. It's got a huge engine in it, but I mean that's a hard one to equate to a ball off of a more responsive urethane ball.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be my choice.
No, but I think it will be his for a while. It appears to have worked pretty well lately. So.
Yeah, he said last week that he felt like he needed to go to a smoother ball, but this week he felt like the smoother ball was burning up a little too much because it was a little longer in Lubbock last week. I think it was 40 feet in Lubbock, 39 feet maybe, and then it was 37 feet this week. We bowled on Marshall Holman, which to me is one of the easier PBA patterns. It plays a little bit like a short pattern, except it's got more hold. Is kind of how it. Like when you hear 37 feet, I usually have cold shivers go down my spine. That's not usually a good thing. But
37 is a death distance generally because of your break point is supposed to be. It's not really off the gutter, and then your break point gets closer to the track. So if there's a developed track, you're kind of going through it, and it gets kind of messy. But certainly was not the case this weekend.
No, I just think that pattern, the way it's built, it's like they took a fairly easy 35 foot pattern and just stretched it 2 more feet, and there's unlimited hook off the gutter. And to me anyway, the main challenge was making sure I got it to the gutter. Like the only time it ever really caused me any troubles with a shot that I really didn't get there.
Yeah,
Somebody who watched
I think on what's that?
I said there was just sorry to cut you off there. I believe Chris will contend for Senior Player of the Year. I watched every game of match play from Houston, and he looked great.
Thank you, Kenneth. You might not have watched the end.
You might have some stiff competition, though. Tom Hess, I believe, is in the same rookie clash as you, and he had a very nice weekend also.
Yeah, Tommy's bowled good both weekends. Really, I guess he started at the end of Lubbock, but he bowled really good this last weekend. And then obviously Jason Couch is in that class. There's a bunch of guys in that class. Now it's basically 2 classes on top of it. So
another person, Larry, said it was great seeing Chris Warren, Chris Barnes, and Walter Ray on Walter Ray's live stream.
It was, I'm sure. Sunday they were a little different. They played, even though we were in the house pattern. Again, I blame the house pattern a little bit for how much friction there was on the gutter. Sunday there was a little bit of wiggle out on one. Like if you played up the lane on Saturday, it almost overhooked. And Walter was pretty committed to standing on top of it, and he went light or missed the headpin a couple of times when he got it to 1-2 on the second day, which changed the scoring pace a little bit because you couldn't just throw at it on day 2. And so the scores were slightly lower. They were lower for some people. It didn't seem to slow AJ down a whole lot.
No, it was quite strange looking at the scores because Ryan sent me a video of you shooting 300. And I didn't really know what game it was. And then I finally saw a sheet and saw it was game 3. And I was looking at the sheets. And the scores were actually quite a bit lower the first 2 games, except for Jay and Simonson.
Yeah, they crushed them early. And then
they just disappeared when everybody else started striking. It was really odd.
Yeah, it was that deal. I think everybody was kind of looking at all the free friction from the day before, and they didn't really hook off the gutter the right way. And it brought some other things into play. I played a little flatter in the middle. And for a couple of games, I was just a little bit plus. Dimitri had a bad game and then a good game. But then in game 3, across the 3 pairs we were at, through 8 frames, there was only 1 shot that was less than 9 pins. So went from the field averaging 210 or 215 to let's see, we bowled Lavery and those guys. They shot 536 and got 0. We swept them. We shot 560. There was a 520 that got swept. Another 550 or so. So, but anyway, we did get a little update on the PBA players and the entries for the PBA Players Championship, and we'll be the first. And this is painful for me, but Stu was spot on about the East. The East is by far leading the entry category. And we'll put a little board up there. They have 90 entries right now, and they have 11 on the waiting list after 1 day of being up and open for entries. The West with 60, that's a little bit of a surprise for a region that struggles to get over 45 entries on a regular basis. Good for them.
I think Josh has been pushing it pretty hard.
Yeah, and I think Gary Major's done a great job, but Josh has probably tied into a few more guys, and I think $500 for $250,000 on top, $10,000 for 5th in your region. That's it. Wow, it's just a great
opportunity to bowl on TV.
59. I expect that to go up pretty significantly. The Central at 54, which is a little surprising given the number of bowlers. And then we come to the Southwest.
I'm blaming you and AJ. Everybody's intimidated.
I think no one's intimidated by me. 42 for an area who has, we get 85 bowlers at the Friday sweeper. What is going on Southwest? This step it up a little bit. We're in Garland. You're right in the middle of the region. It doesn't get much easier to get to than here, a center that people have bowled at. So obviously the other thing is we've bowled a ton of tournaments around here, and there's a lot of entry fees out. I expect after Christmas that number will move significantly. As you said right before we started, I can't hardly see us not having really close to a full field there. But come on, Southwest, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I just think that a lot of guys enter the tournaments late here. That's just kind of the thing, and I think that the Christmas factor is really huge. I think that being out that $500 just before Christmas, having bowled 3 weeks in a row as well. I didn't even think about the 3 weeks in a row, but the East hasn't bowled at all. The West has had a few tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
The South having that many, like basically 50% more entries than the Southwest is the one that's really concerning for the Southwest, because the South have been bowling the same, if not more, than we've been bowling.
Right. They've had a lot of events too.
But yeah, so I think that does affect it a little bit. The fact that, in the East, it's been shut for so long. And I think guys they're just really ready to get out there and bowl, and they didn't want to miss their chance. And they obviously watched the show and realized it was going to fill up quick.
Right. Right. Well, going with our theme that we often use on this show. And we are going to bring in a member of Team AJ. He was able to successfully carry his balls from pair to pair, write down his scores correctly, which always started with a 2 and often followed with something bigger than a 4. But on the plus side, this guy's actually got a real job too. He's actually legitimately successful, not just bowling successful. He is a director of business development for Retail One. There's rumors that he's had jobs before that, which makes him incredibly unique in the bowling world. A late starter to bowling, 5 regional titles, and part of the doubles champion team. And I don't mean to underestimate his contribution to that role, but a friend of the program, let's just say. Keith Lesko.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing today?
Look at that flex in the background, Chris.
Wow, banner up and this. He's not a rookie.
That's right. That's right. So that's right. So I find it funny that no matter what Chris does, he shorts me a title, because that was actually number 6. But hey, it's okay.
We just got this information from AJ.
Yeah, it's okay.
To be honest, I thought that was your first one yesterday or Sunday. So
well, sometimes it felt like it. And yes, I was able to get my equipment from lane to lane. I've been watching for a few minutes. Man, how good was my partner?
I'm not sure if the most impressive thing he didn't do was right at the end of practice, he came up with a ball and forced you to take another shot, which was after Keith said stop, after they said stop. So I feel like you should be disqualified, but okay.
I was on the approach. It was close enough.
And you threw it and you turned around and you just looked at him.
And that's the ball I threw for the first 5 games. That is the ball I threw. And
you're just like, why did that one work? You need to explain to me why this works, AJ.
It was awesome. He was, not only did he bowl just phenomenal, just incredibly well, but I mean, it's kind of part of what I see being an old guy and seeing these young guys. Their physical games are so good, but mentally they understand so much. So actually on Thursday, AJ and I went over to the ITRC and practiced for an hour. And I had talked about my recent struggles with transition, because it's been, quite honestly, as Chris likes to tell me, I keep missing Sunday because I'm never there anymore. Because I keep shooting 170 in the middle of a block. So AJ's like, we're looking at equipment, we're practicing, and he helps me develop a game plan as far as what balls we're going to throw, how we're going to play the lanes. And with about 10 minutes left before we're done, he's like, by the way, let's talk about transition and try this. And it was basically like a 3-zone move, which in old guy world, moving a zone is a jump. And he had me move in practice like 13-7 or 14-8 kind of thing. I struck some, and he said, okay, remember that. And when we made the turn, game 6 on Saturday, kind of, big forward through the face. And he goes, hey, remember that move? Yep. Okay, time to make it. And you just, at that point in time, you just don't question it. You just go, yes, sir. And managed to shoot 220, then shoot 230 and 240. And that doesn't happen without him coaching me to some success, as well as him throwing it as well as he did too. So he was just, Dude, he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal both days. And then Sunday, it's easy for your arm swing to get kind of loose when your partner could take the blind and still make the cut. And then
trust me, that wasn't possible.
I mean, to
I
be
went with
fair,
that plan. That wasn't possible.
to be fair, that just makes you this weekend's Bill O'Neill.
Okay. And you know what? I'll live with that. It's okay. Because if you look over my shoulder there, you see the trophy up there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I'll be honest, Keith, you are doing yourself way too much of a disservice here.
Well, thanks.
I mean, I believe you shot so you would have shot 250 over, give or take, on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shot about 2.25 over on Saturday, and I shot about 270, 280 over on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I really think you're doing yourself a big disservice here. I mean, AJ bowled well. Don't get me wrong.
He did.
But he didn't bowl well enough that he could bowl with Pete.
It was I was very satisfied with my performance. Thank you for noticing. I think the best part of Sunday was going 8-2 in match play, because that field was stacked. It was an absolute stacked field. It was a stacked finals field.
Just quickly, what did you personally go in match play?
8-2.
You put, that's what I'm saying, because in that tournament it's a little unique. The seniors play against the seniors.
Mm-hmm.
The kids play against the kids, and then you get 10 pins per bowler and then 30 for totals. So how did it go when you played Barnzy?
That would be called a sweep, and that would be a sweep as far as me sweeping him. And I let him know it at check presentation time too.
I managed to put up my worst 2 games. It was the first game and the last game, and I bowled them both times. I was completely intimidated. It was, I believe it was the Scott Norton replica jerseys and pants combo that had me a little bit intimidated.
I thought maybe it was my rev rate too, but maybe not.
No, I mean, honestly, all kidding aside, obviously, as middle rev rate guys, that's the hardest thing when bowling these doubles things or bowling in the regular regionals, when all these guys are left of you. And that was the biggest thing I saw. The difference was you always bowl good early, and you're in the hunt, and then when that move comes and you have to jump over it, you don't get a lot of practice for that bowling the SASBAs.
No.
And it's just different there. And so, it is always helpful to have another set of eyes that can help you get to that spot, but you also have to have the toolbox to do something about it. And between that and those balls you're throwing, it was a pretty good. That's a pretty good move to be able to make there.
So. Thank you. Yeah, it was, like I said, it's practicing it even for a dozen shots and just seeing an immediate success. It gives you that confidence level of, hey, I can make this move, and this is where I need to throw it. This is what I need to do. And again, it just, once you get in that rhythm, it's pretty good. I will say, when we got to our position round, the last match, AJ and we were on 5 and 6, and you guys had just bowled there the previous game, and you had shot like 430, 440, and it looked a little funky for you guys.
Yeah, we didn't like it at all. We would have much happier moved to any other pair. That was been our worst pair both the other 2 times we hit it too. So
and that's interesting, because AJ and I bowled Walter and Ildemaro game 8 there, and we shot almost 560. So when we came back over, go ahead, Stu.
he's just slyly saying, I really didn't understand how you guys sucked.
Well, they went to the pair that we shot 520 and got swept by the last place team on and shot 440 also.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit going on, but yeah.
But it just, we got back over there, and AJ threw a couple of shots, and he's like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. And I saw you and Dimitri, it looked like you guys, it just kind of cliffed a little more for you.
I completely threw Dimitri under the bus there. I felt the more friction, and I balled down. And from that point on, every decision on that tree was going to be wrong. I needed to go back to the stronger ball again. I could have thrown a Zen, or I could have thrown that orange flux I was throwing it.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those would have been fine. At least would have been better than what I did. I don't know if I could have got shot 240 or 50, which would have given us a small chance. But a little heat on there. Those white pants might have puckered up a little bit more.
Just a little, but it's okay. I would have taken my chances.
I think the thing I admire most about you, Keith, is that you have done in the last year specifically. You've really done what everybody's supposed to do to get better. You have no problem in coming and asking people questions. You don't get upset when people give you an answer that might include, well, you're limited in this way until you improve that. You don't take that as a, man, that's why are they being mean to me? You go and you find as many times as you can to practice with like AJ, or you do that Tuesday practice with Barnes and whatever. And you enter pretty much all the tournaments. And getting your ass kicked at times sucks. Like, and you take it super well, get in your car, slam the door, off you go. But then you'll find something to bowl the next day. Like, you get all up in your feelings a little bit, but you manage on the drive home to be able to find your Zen point. See what I did there, Chris? Zen.
I like that.
And just get back out there the next day and bowl. And I think that's really commendable.
I appreciate it. It's Sunday. I whiffed a 10-pin to lose the match to Jay, nephew. And I went outside, had a little chat with myself.
We had a little chat right when it happened, too.
I had a much bigger chat. I made sure to go outside, though.
Well, it was a short chat.
It was a short thing, yeah, but it was pretty direct.
It was.
It's I know, I'm almost 55 years old. I know there are certain things I can't do with a bowling ball. I can't throw it like you. I can't throw it like Chris. I'm never going to be able to be that steep through the front and shape it that much. So I try to work within my limitations, but also because I took 12 and a half years off from bowling from my late 30s until just before a couple weeks before I turned 50, before I decided, hey, I'm going to come back to bowling. And the game changed a lot in those dozen years, and I missed it. And there are guys, you two guys, there's a lot of guys way smarter than me about the game right now. And if I'm going to have any success and be competitive against guys half my age, I gotta trick it. I've got to do some things differently with some tricks versus just ball change, move the AJ, move 20 left and just step on it kind of thing. And I'm trying to continually learn and kind of expand the knowledge base in what I need to do. Because it's I have to, or I'm gonna just be trunk slamming that much more.
This guy Ricky said he's in a chat like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar when he went to the bathroom. You don't understand how close to the truth that really is. So real quick. So when I first moved to the region, me and Keith have very similar personalities, so we can get quite frustrated and we're quite vocal, and our language is a little
salty,
suspect,
colorful, yeah.
Colorful.
Just like my what I wear.
But I think that we're both like fairly happy-go-lucky people, whatever. So I can't really remember where it 100% started, but Keith has a pretty short trigger.
I am my own worst critic.
So we started a little like game that was, we'd bet the over under on when the first time Keith had say the F word each day. So like we'll be in practice, or it's usually just before we get on the lanes. So if we're bowling like the 9 o'clock squad, of course, practice is 8:50. I'll be like 8:57 today, Keith. Keith's like, no, I think I'll be all right. He gets through and he'll come to me halfway. He'll come to me at some point in the block. It was 9:23.
Yeah.
So when we bowled last week, it was a 10 o'clock start.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to, and I was bowling the next lane to him. And he says, he goes, I made it to 10:15 because frame 5, he Quote, I left that like swishing 410.
Yeah.
You mean the 210 where the two pins
No. Oh,
so then I got the next barrage of the why don't you go on your own effing lane and concentrate on your game?
Yeah, and then as the day progressed, I actually got a little quieter, and Stu was getting a little more frustrated with himself. I think if we had a count, you may have won on Saturday.
Yeah, but most of mine were aimed towards my car.
Keith is really good at communicating.
Hey, you know, I didn't drop one when I 7-9 on the front three the one game.
Yeah, no,
that was
AJ did though.
Yeah.
AJ was hot when that happened. He was hot. He was just like, "Can you believe this shit?" Yeah. Ricky Smith says, "Do you remember the first time you got a fine for swearing on the lanes?" Nope, hasn't happened yet.
Me neither.
I bowled back in a time when I got one for not swearing. All I did was I left a 4-pin or something and gave one of the foot stomps, and it wasn't even a big one. But I was an amateur bowling in the PBA event, and it was game 18 of qualifying, and I was going to make the cut. And the guys that were not going to make the cut had a little bit more salt than the boys these days. So
yeah,
that got me a hundy for not saying anything.
Isn't that amazing? Surprisingly, I've been fined once in my PBA career. It was about 20 years ago in Tucker, Georgia. And it was because someone asked me a question and my reply was at a very low volume, but the one person that heard the reply was the proprietor. And he went and turned me into Harry O'Neill, and Harry pulled me over to the side and handed me the slip.
On point.
Great story.
You never bowled the South region with Harry O'Neill.
Gary Mage did find me one time, but I completely deserved it. But it was funny the way he went about it. He said, "Let's call it part of that 30% of tax you have to pay."
I have deserved it more times. I'm not proud to admit it. I mean, I probably should have been fined a couple of times that I wasn't, and someone's pulled me to the back and given me the unofficial verbal warning.
You were on your last legs.
Last leg.
One
yeah.
more, let's go.
Here's maybe the least likely. Glad to see Keith win. Maybe now he'll stop whining.
Yeah.
No.
Rob Bozar. That's funny. Rob, after he was telling me how poorly he was bowling at league, and then he shoots 3 bills the first game that same night.
Oh, he booed it.
And this is Devin. This is your.
That's the older daughter.
Okay.
That's my older daughter, and I guess she and my grandson are they are watching. My grandson's about 3.5 years old. So awesome. I'm sure he's going, he's pointing to the computer screen going, "Hi, Pop-Up."
So short story, what's your background with bowling, with sports in general?
Bowled as a kid. My dad was a pretty good local player, many years ago. Bowled as a teen for a little while, but played all the sports, played soccer, basketball, baseball, bowled.
I'm guessing by temperament and your ability to navigate locker room talk, so to speak, that maybe you played another sport in your life.
Yeah, just a couple. I enjoy the banter.
And there you go, Mark Baker, amateurs, 9 years on tour, 27 fines, 9 straight years on probation.
Nice.
Never a day off for this guy.
So when I bowled, I'd quit for a while. I bowled then in my 30s, in 98, 99, 2000, bowled the regionals, was actually neighbors with Hoskins, who says hello, by the way, and he can't wait to see you out on senior tour. But Steve helped me kind of go from robotic dead straight to, some variation of my game. Yeah, I know. Hard to believe, Stu. If only you had seen it. I'll show you next time. But in 2004, I walked away from the game for about 12 years. My kids were getting a little older. Business, career requirements had me on the road some. And it just, being on the road 20 weeks a year and then traveling to tournaments in the South 25 weekends a year was a little much. And I'm an all or nothing guy. My wife has been very supportive. I mean, we're going on 34 years of marriage, and she's always let me do one thing and do it really hard. So for 12 years, I played golf. We had moved to Charlotte during that time, didn't play as much golf, handicap suffered, and decided just before I turned 50, hey, I'm going to go back to bowling. Called a friend of mine, Kurt Gwynn in South Carolina, who I've been friends with for years. He drilled me up a few balls, and it kind of progressed quickly. It's kind of like riding a bike. There's some changes, and there's still a lot of things I have to learn regarding lane play and equipment and some of the finer details. But I was fortunate enough to be reasonably athletic as a kid, and some of the muscle memory has stuck with me. And bowling the last 4.5 years now, I enjoy it. I enjoy the PBA 50 tour the absolute most. It's a great combination of camaraderie and competition. And I cannot wait until 2021 and we can be back out there.
Good. Larry Verbal evidently has played a little golf with you. You won't get off the first tee.
Well, my golf ball and my bowling ball have completely opposite shapes.
Oh,
so
they both hook.
Oh well,
golf ball more.
My golf ball either draws, hooks, or double Dutch hooks.
Oh.
And the first time Larry took me out to play golf was a course up in Michigan, and every hole was tree lined.
Yeah.
And you had to cut it. And it sucked. It absolutely was awful. So, yeah. Larry still likes every time we talk about coming back up to Michigan for a stop, he wants to bring me to that one golf course just to watch me try to hit fades. It's not pretty.
Okay, PBA 50. I have not bowled my first event out there. Who are the best guys to be around?
Man, there's a lot of good guys. I mean, Jeff Johnson, Tom Carter, Hoskins is a great guy. Looking forward to you being out there and Couch being out there. Yeah, because the verbal jabs will be flying. That locker room chatter will just.
So your bar's a little bit different. When you said Hoskins, I knew your bar's a little different place than some people. So
yeah, well, yeah.
He's able to throw a jab with the best of them too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so. He is, and he can take it too. I don't just like you and I don't mind throwing it back. So even though you guys are Hall of Famers.
Who are the biggest tools?
Well, you're gonna be.
Also fair. All right.
I'll leave it at that. You're gonna be. No, honestly, it's a lot of the guys. It's what I think makes it so enjoyable is you have your superstars. You have your Walters and your Haugans and your guys who you just pencil into the finals and they're going to win once or twice during the year. But out there, you go out, you want to beat each other's brains in on the lanes, and it's, hey, let's go to dinner, or 12 guys go play golf, or a group of people do things. So it's just it's a little more mellow off the lanes, and the personalities are there's not a lot of clicks, there's not a lot of backstabbing or anything like that out there. It's just a little more.
I heard there's an RV click though.
Oh yeah, there's a few guys with the RVs who are out there, but they're still one of us, and they're still going to the golf course with us. So
that's
yeah,
good.
Barnes will be the biggest tool, but that's okay. He can back it up with his game.
Yeah, that's all right. It'll be your money, so
that's okay.
I mean, on the golf course, I don't know if I can beat you.
No.
You got a little confidence. I'm sure you're.
Oh well, I knew I was going to win anyway. That was
product your environment now. You and AJ together. Be a lot of strutting going on next week. Can't wait.
It won't be bad. Hey, here's another thing though. How good is your partner going to be? His time's coming. Dimitri.
Yeah. I feel bad because I did make the wrong move there, and he bowled plenty good enough to give us a real chance to win there. And we did actually bowl well together a lot of the time, which doesn't often happen when you're playing with a two-hander as a traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we hit him on the same pairs a lot, which is pretty unusual. And he was pretty accepting of some information, and he ground through some tough spots. He's grown up a lot in the last couple of years, and he's able to weather the storms. It's not going to be long before he wins multiple times on the regional side. And I think if he gets a swing at the national tour, he can be successful out there for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was nice too. I mean, as much as everyone wants to win out there this weekend, our Tuesday afternoon pot game crew had quite the showing.
We had 5 out of the 6 going in the last game, and that's just because Tom Hess. It's probably about 2 hours too far for him to drive there.
Yeah, from Iowa.
7-hour drive was too far. At 5, he probably would have come and done it.
Yeah. So it was it's one of those things. You never root against people. My wife has always talked about this too. In qualifying, you're kind of rooting for everyone. You're never rooting against anyone, even in match play. So I want to beat your brains in. I want to bowl well, but I'm not gonna sit back there and wish ill will kind of thing. Maybe it's just an age thing too. But at this point in time, that doesn't work for me.
Well, the other thing as well is it depends how much of a side bet you have with them.
There's no gambling in PBA competition, Mr. Williams.
No.
Sure.
So just because we can't have a complete AJ Lovin, fun story from when we bowled a couple of weeks ago at the Invitational. Frankie comes to me at the end of the block, and Frankie's pretty dry, and he can deliver a line pretty well. He comes to me and he says, God, AJ just bet me. He said, we're betting a beer. I don't even drink, but apparently we're betting a beer. He goes, he didn't even give me a choice. He shot 267. He owes me a drink, of course.
Oh, Frankie is so dry too. That is funny. That's a guy I love watching him bowl because I see how he feeds the ball to a certain spot, and how he really he controls the break point and controls what he's doing with the ball. I go back to I'm only going to be able to do certain things. I feel like I can watch him and learn a couple things from him. I've got a fighting chance there because he's never going to be that guy that really just, steps on it and hooks the lane either.
Don't tell him that. He says his rev rate's way over 500. Sneaky rev rate.
Him and Richie, they're both way over 500. Yeah.
Okay,
well,
guys.
It's been a pleasure, Keith. Thanks.
It has. Thanks for
with us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to be on here. It's been fun chatting with you guys for a while. Chris, you bowling Plano this weekend? That over under 40?
Of course.
Okay.
See you there, Keith.
Well, and Stu, are you going to be there? Because you're an over 40 now, right?
Nope.
Oh, you just look it. Okay. Sorry.
No. I'll be honest. When you said you were 55, I almost fell off my chair. I was lining you up to be one of my super seniors for the SASPA.
Perfect. Give me a few more years. I'm getting there.
I can't believe you picked the least colorful shirt in your closet to wear today.
I thought about actually wearing a jersey and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, I'll go muted.
Really disappointed that you didn't wear your Beef and Barnzy t-shirt, to be honest.
Speaking of, go to beefandbarnzy.com to buy Beef and Barnzy merch.
Oh, you guys are peach. All right.
All right, Keith, do you have anybody you want to thank?
Merry Christmas to everyone out there. And I will see you guys soon. Be safe, be healthy, and stay out of trouble.
All right, take care, Keith. Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.
Well, that was Keith Lesko for everybody who had never met him before. Great guy. Brings definitely a different perspective to the show. Not someone who is, I guess, lives and dies by his results. You wouldn't know it listening to him when he's on the lanes, but yeah, it's nice to see a guy who's put in that much work getting some rewards back from it.
Burning desire to win, but life's not defined by it. It's one of the things that comes with age, I guess. So I hear. I think he could be our Stanford Steve. You know, he can.
Yeah, he's like I say, I really enjoy spending time with Keith. I find him to be entertaining. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but I guess that
Probably qualified there too.
Yeah. Ed, I saw you. I came and you were watching me down on 39 and 40, supporting your black Beef and Barnzy shirt. I remember.
He had it. It's good to see it out there.
Looking for my discount code for the Beef and Barnzy show. Sure,
I'm looking for my other half of the entry. I paid for the Snowman doubles too. We'll be right around the corner with each other.
Merry Christmas, Tom.
Tom, I hope that things are going well down there, and I'm looking forward to bowling the Snowman with you in a few weeks.
Yeah. Should we just quickly give a little breakdown of what's happening around Texas in case people didn't really know? We're looking for some tournaments to bowl.
And in the comments, if guys want to tell us what else is going on in your region, fire that in, and we'll get it out there too. But Plano over under 40 doubles, always a very good event. There'll be a lot of guys coming in this weekend, and then there will be a Monday 6-gamer at my home center that I've never won a sweeper at. It likely will not happen again by that field.
The Poppy is running also, which is down in Angleton. That tournament is you have to qualify before New Year's Day, I believe, or before the evening, and then the finals are on New Year's Day for all the guys who have qualified. There's NDO are running a host of events in Houston. Singles on New Year's Day, so you can double dip on New Year's Day. Long day, but you can double dip. Tuesday, Jay Nephew's running a Swiss team tournament. I believe it is a lady, a senior, and 2 open spots. I think NDO is also running a trios that day. Just a turn up and bowl. Can alibi across the house. We have the shutdown.
Thank you. He's doing a great job for you. Vote Democrat again. Sure, it'll work out next time.
Oh God, stop it! And then we also have NDO running a eliminated doubles on the 3rd. So plenty of things to bowl. I know that Chris Turner, his Victory Bowling, is running a Snow Bunny, I think he called it. So if you search that out on Facebook on the 26th and the 27th. So yeah, there's pretty much something to bowl everywhere in either Houston or Dallas.
I think there's even a New Year or a Christmas Eve tournament at Plano as well.
Is that the 9-pin no tap one?
It might be. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a handicap event, but
$1,000 for first 9-pin no tap in Plano. Woo! Don't know that 900 is going to be enough to win that one.
I do believe they cap it. I don't think you can shoot more than. I think 900 is actually the score. You're not shut out before you put your shoe on, but it's pretty amazing. And the good news is there's way more masks being worn all the time around here. It's become just kind of a part of the fabric, and I think in general people are observing there's less hand slapping and things. So I think we can make it through this and keep bowling tournaments and things keep going forward. So
here we go. Chuck says there's a big scratch tournament in Staunton, Virginia.
There you go.
New Year's Day. Great. So there's something to bowl further up in the east. So yeah.
Yep. Well, with that, we will not have a Christmas Eve show.
Nope.
I believe we're gonna let everybody have a day off from us as well. The good Vi. My favorite cookie. Well, actually, when we're off the lanes for sure. Best cookies around on tour.
I still haven't got any. I'm feeling left out.
I was going to share. No, I was never going to share.
No, you're never going to share.
No, those are fantastic.
So yeah, for those wondering where the board is, my wife had the day off, so she wasn't around.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Chris. Love you guys. Thank you for keeping these two occupied for the last year. Appreciate you. Keep watching.
Well, and we have one more show before the end of the year, but it has been quite a year, and we may, who knows, maybe a little spoiler alert, we may have a little year in review. So
yeah, maybe we'll figure that out in between bowling squads.
Yeah, it'd be Vinny. That's the Ginger Spin Biscuits dad, by the way.
Yep. I know him. So Regina is trying to force us to go political just for you, Chris.
Well, I know. I can't wait because it's just like when people move from other countries and then want it to be just like the one they left for some reason. I don't quite understand it. Yeah, can't wait. Maybe we can have a lot of taxes and a lot of debt. Let's get there fast. Yes.
Oh dear! Stop! It's Christmas. We're gonna move on.
Oh, we're not there yet. So anyway.
Thank you to everybody who kept me and Chris gainfully employed this year. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. Hopefully, we're coming through the other side of it. We've been bowling pretty much constantly the last 3 months, so hopefully the rest of the country can catch up, and this nightmare can be behind us sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that vaccine. Hopefully it works and it we get widespread use, and I believe 70% is the number at that point. It's pretty much fully effective. So
thanks, John.
I appreciate it. I guess if there's one good thing that came out of it, I got to spend a lot more time with Stu, and I actually think that's a good thing somehow. I may be that guy, but
weird.
Yeah, it's probably more like the other way around. There wasn't a lot of people lining up to hang out with me, so I appreciate it. Thanks for all you guys for watching. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Once again, the sponsors scrolling across the bottom help make this happen. And with Christmas coming up, appreciate it if you would support our sponsors as well. So once again, Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global, Dexter, Vice, 3G, Turbo, and then of course Bowler's Mart. So again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all the best to you and yours. Support small businesses in those bowling centers, get them through this tough time. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.